Well on, family. You know, I like my family now. I'm not joking, and I shouldn't call you a lot because my grand said a lot is a piece of land. Right, so guys, even girls, ladies, hear what? Gyalem. I'm talking to you as well. I love you all. Everybody that has followed, liked, subscribed, thank you so, so much, because there is no point in doing this if I'm going to talk to myself. Let's be honest. However, those of you who are just preying, not subscribing, yeah, subscribe, Jed. Do you get me? I know you might have to log into YouTube and press Google and do all kinds of things. It's worth it. The subscription is worth it. Every single one I get is a credit to you and me. I've got some great shows coming up, so you need to stay tuned in. You need to stay locked on. As you know, the premieres are coming out on Sundays. If they don't come out on Sundays, they're coming. We ain't leaving you out. I ain't doing this for nothing. I want to share. I want you to share. That's what I want. Yeah, I've got some great episodes coming up. I've got some great guests coming up about some current issues, about some real life issues that I feel that we need to get into. There needs to be more discussion about that. My son said, Mum, you need to be more raw like you are at home. But you know what? Why do I? I've had enough of that. I've come on here to offer a bit of peace. If I feel passionate enough, it's going to get raw. It's going to get sticky. My cousin sent a comment to my Instagram saying my commitment of making people feel uncomfortable is not a new commitment. And here to her. Big up, Miles. Bo, and you, TT. Yeah, because why should everybody be comfortable? Nah, sometimes you have to wallow in your mess, fam. Do you get me? Because it gives you a kick up the arse and makes you realise exactly wagwan. Too many of us, yeah, living in the past, yeah, living in the future. We need to get down to now, yeah? What's happening now? How can you change the future? How can you get over the past? You know, like move on. And when you're moving on, make some positive steps, maybe with a plan, even if it's in your own head. Do you know how important that is to have a focus? It doesn't matter what it is. Get up, feet on ground. Maybe put dressing gown on, depending on how cold it is. Walk to bathroom, yeah? Do some form of hygiene, yeah, to make yourself feel more awake. Unfortunately, that's why they put mint in toothpaste, because it wakes you up. It does something to your taste buds that actually physically wakes you up. If you don't brush your teeth, then you're behind. Simple little routines like that. Simple little steps of actually getting up out of bed. The day doesn't start until then. When you're lying horizontal, nothing is getting done. You can self-reflect. Self-reflection is great. When do you guys get time to self-reflect? Like I said before, self-reflection in the shower is a great way to self-reflect because it's just you one. Yeah? Doesn't matter how much of a rush you're in, your brain will start thinking about something that you don't usually think about. In the bath. Who has time for a bath? Nobody. Showers are like the fashion now. But if you do have a bath, you know where your mind's going. Who you owe money to, who owes you money, what bills you didn't pay, what direct debit you need to change, what subscription you need to cancel. Yeah, who's got PE tomorrow, what kit needs to be washed, who's got football at the weekend, who's got rugby, who's got ballet, who's got netball. All these things, you think, oh, damn, I forgot to sign up for that. Oh, damn, I forgot to do this. It's not a lot of time that we get to self-reflect. It's really, really important tool in order to get on with others. We're meeting new people all the time. You've got out of bed, you've brushed your teeth, you've got yourself dressed. It's a good idea to have something to eat. Anything. Do you know what I've been doing? I've been peeling an avocado and just munching on it like it's an apple. Good for me. It's available. I don't have to cook it. I'm just saying what I do. You don't have to copy me. There's no copying in this. We're talking about well-being. We're talking about self-reflection. If you haven't eaten properly, yeah, and you don't feel good, doesn't matter what your body's used to. You got your body used to bad habits before you've even left the house. Before your first meal, some of us, it's 2 o'clock because it has been mine for ages, for a long time. You have to bruck out of them little habits. It's not sustainable. We won't last with that mindset. Okay, so after you've met all these people and they get to know you, really what you need to check is, do you know yourself? How are you going to form and develop relationships with other people if you don't know who you are? And now you've met your dad. Yeah? So you know his side of the family. You got that far in life. Some of you already were born with that. Some of you have had to search it. Your foundation and where you're coming from is a great part of your values and beliefs. Because that's where you learn values and beliefs from a really early age. So when you step out in life, you have to study, who are you? Yeah? Because there are people out there and they will tell you straight. They know you better than you know yourself. Is that what you want? You want to be told about yourself all the time? My dad used to say to me, expose yourself first, darling. Don't let anybody come and expose you. Exposure can only take place and be demonstrated when other people know your shit, basically. Otherwise, nobody can't tell what they're going to say. They don't know. So what am I saying? You must keep yourself to yourself. You must be private. It's up to you what you do. But no, there's always a knock-on effect. Sometimes it's not a consequence. Sometimes it's a door opener. Sometimes it's an opportunity. But understand that there are steps of progression. And if you don't understand that, that's because you don't self-reflect. You don't actually think about what you're going to do. You don't actually think about what you've done and the effect, the future effect that will have. Because your actions right now will determine a future of some sort, in some way. Some of you might be spiritual, so you're living on that level. Some of you might be getting messages from ancestors up above, spiritual messages from spiritual ancestors that are looking out for you. How are you going to recognize what's what if you don't know who you are? You're making other people do stuff for you all the time. So how are you supposed to know your capabilities? How are you supposed to know your limits? Seriously, check it. My dad was the type, darling, do this for me. Darling, do that for me. I ain't doing it. Because for years and decades, man's had people doing stuff for them. Because he's really good at delegating. He was really good at manipulation. He was a really good intimidator. Not to me. Do it yourself, because hear my message. If I keep doing it for you, how will you learn? Man telling me they don't want to learn. Well, you never stop learning until the day you die. So what things are you picking up then? Things are not useful to you. Things are not beneficial to you. You're going to ask everybody else to do everything else that's useful for you. What are you going to do? Cock up your foot and what? My dad was smoking crack. What are you doing? Do you know what I mean? In the meantime, while you're not sorting out your business and you've delegated to somebody else, that clearly you have no consideration that they might have some business to deal with of their own. So everything's on a lag now because of you, yeah? While you're doing nothing, what are you actually doing? Because when you're doing nothing, you're actually doing something. How about that one? Why don't you spend your time more useful? Actually teaching yourself how to do stuff that you're not very confident in. Because that's all it usually is. Not that you don't want to do it. More time you don't know how. More time you haven't practiced it enough. More time you're not confident with it. It could be something as simple as filling out a form. It could be something as simple as ironing your shirt. It could be something as simple as turning the dishwasher on. Yeah, it's all right, we don't have to wash up. Who knows how to turn a dishwasher on? I remember the first time I learned, I was in Spain. Didn't have to turn a dishwasher on. I've seen them before because I had a friend whose house we used to go to. She had a dishwasher. My gran used to do a cleaning job. They had dishwashers. I didn't have to turn a dishwasher on. So these are the everyday little simple tasks that we need to get us through. Because if you don't know how to turn a dishwasher on, can you wash up? Do you know how to use the washing machine? Do you know how much a kilowatt it is for electricity when you're bunning it out? When you're cold, do you know how much it costs for gas? Self-reflection, people. Because hear what? We live in a society where everything costs money. And if they've got a horrible word for it, free base, no, not free basing, obviously it's not that. Free something, free surfing, yeah? Or it's got a word, it's an English word and it's horrible, yeah? If you're doing that, then you're not self-reflecting. Or if you're doing that, you've got plenty of time to self-reflect. And then what are you thinking about yourself? And what do you think these people around you that you're sponging off, I call it poncing, because that's what my dad calls it. Do you know what I mean? In fact, that's what my mum calls it. She's from the East End, and she calls it poncing. He's a ponce marsh, which is, again, a horrible derogatory word that you don't know people are calling you. You don't know that if you take your shoes off when you go to certain people's house, that they can smell your feet because you can't smell it. Sometimes you don't even know when your breath smells. Because nobody is going to be outright and rude enough to tell you. But me, myself, personally, I'll be honest. I've laughed at people with smelly feet. I've laughed at people with smelly breath. At them, behind their back. I haven't had the empathy to let them know, take them one side and say, here what? Because obviously hygiene is a barrier. Why wouldn't you self-reflect on the levels of your hygiene? If you know you haven't washed, then there's a good old chance you're going to smell, right? How long does it take to have a wash? Just a simple top and tail, as I used to call it with the children when they were little. I used to wash them in the morning, give them a shower in the evening. They didn't used to have a shower in the morning, shower in the evening. They used to do that. As they got older now and certain hormones and certain things start taking place, yeah, they're in the shower first thing in the morning. I've switched it up, but I've had to tell them that. If you've gone out to work and you haven't told them they've got to do certain things and you're not making sure they've done it and you're coming home and all ready for the day, you're like, bruh, you stink. Well, trust me, they've been to school all day. Other people are thinking it. Self-reflection. That's your job to self-reflect on that little level there. Make sure there's deodorant in the house. Make sure there's washing detergent to make the clothes smell nice. Make sure the washing's done. Make sure it's dry properly. That smell when the washing's not dry properly. You get used to it. Other people don't. Self-reflection. Basic personal hygiene. Again, things that other people will see about you that you don't realise. Because in life, no matter who you are, there are things about you that other people are aware of. You have no idea they know. Some people you only meet once. They never get the opportunity to tell you. Some people you build relationships with, yeah, they still don't tell you. You have to check yourself, Jed, at all times, your movement and the knock-on effect that you are leaving with people. Yeah? Bullying. It's another thing. Yeah? You can be an adult bullying other adults that are not in the same position mentally as you. That's mean. You could be leading those people to thoughts of suicide. People take on stuff like that. And you know your victims because you're choosing them. That's your nature. You should try picking on people of your own stature. Yeah, that can challenge you. It might uplift you to be a better person yourself. Self-reflection. Check it. Shall I tell you how I know all this? I'm a reformed character. I've come from being very selfish. I've come from being very, very loud to the point where it's offensive. I've come from the point, from the stance of having zero filter, where I've considered nobody's feelings at all. I've come from a place where I'm always late, not even caring until they left me one day. And I realised, actually, not everybody's going to wait on you when you're late. And that's the worst thing about being late. The worst thing about being late is when people don't wait for you. Some of you will know that. Some of you are manipulative enough and intimidating enough that people wait every time. Think about how that's affecting that person that's got to wait on you all the time. Small little things. We just need to sit and self-reflect. Make ourselves a better people. What's wrong with that? Anyway, that's all I thought I'd say about self-reflection today. And I want you to all do some homework. Go self-reflect. 5 minutes. Some of you can't even live with yourself, so I get it. But you know what? You're going to have to, because other people around you have to live with you. So why wouldn't you be the first person to be the most comfortable with yourself? Why wouldn't you be the first person to notice that actually you need to improve this, you need to improve that? Why wouldn't you be the first person to take on board little jokes that people say about you? Because hear what? Never a truer word said in jest. Yeah? Got a little meaning in there. Yeah? Take it on board. When people are joking, where do you think those jokes come from? There's a touch of reality in there. Pick up on it. Yeah? See how you can improve yourself with it. See how it can benefit you and in turn others, including your children, including the people that you care for, including your loved ones. Yeah? That can't be a bad message. Anyway, over and out, people from the Fiigs. Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.